So I've gotten a lot of comments from people who are understandably frustrated with their first experiences playing the game, and they've asked me about like, how do I work on my mental? How do I keep cool in the middle of a game? How do I keep from getting frustrated, etc.? So I sort of wanted to talk about that today. I think just right off the bat, the first thing that we want to understand is that the goal is not to not be frustrated. You're going to be frustrated. It is what it is. I think that there is too much in modern society that is about denying you your emotions, and I would encourage you to experience them and feel them. So I think the problem is not in the emotions that we experience, but in the ways that we respond to them. So how do we respond to these things in a more productive way? What I find when I'm getting really frustrated is that it's usually coming from a place of futility. Like somebody is doing a strategy that is probably dumb and degenerate, but I don't know what to do about it right now. And that's a frustrating experience. Now, if I ignore that, or if I try to just swallow that and persevere through it and keep queuing for more matches, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to run into these frustrating experiences, and they're going to pile upon each other and they're going to stack upon one another until eventually you like hit a boiling point and you explode. And this is where people are like throwing their controllers or they're making rage videos or what have you, right? So what you have to do is in the moment recognize that you're frustrated, one, and then figure out what specifically is frustrating you. And then in the moment that you're experiencing the frustration, go and try to actually address that frustration. Like if you just lost a match to a person that's really scrubby and you feel like you should have won that match but you didn't because you don't know what to do about it, go use the replay reviewer that tells you what to do about it. Like it'll take you all of 3 minutes, and I promise you it'll take some of your frustration away. So I think that's the first step, is removing any sense of like futility that you have. The second thing you want to tackle are these like perceived slights, right? I see people on Twitter all the time that are super upset over people like winning one round and then leaving the match, or playing in ways that they view as disrespectful, or, you know, all these sorts of things. You have to remember that you're not in communication with this opponent. Whatever communication you think you're receiving from them is a projection that's coming from you. It's an interpretation that is coming from you. There are so many reasons why somebody could play only one game and then leave. Their wife came into the room and they want to give her their full attention. They heard a noise from the other room and they think maybe their dog could be throwing up. They're in the middle of cooking something and they only had time for one game, but now they have to go and pull something out of the oven. They heard a knock at the door. They got a phone call, right? Maybe they were on their lunch break and they only had time for a few games, but they have to go. And I think the next one's totally valid too. Like if you're frustrated in the first round and you just want to head it off, you say, you know what? I'm going to cut my losses here. I don't want to be any more frustrated with this. I'm just going to go to the replay and review it now. I think that's totally valid. Like if you want to leave the match as like an emotion regulating tool, I think that's fine. People have to refocus on things that are real, right? The color of your rank is not real. The number of Tekken prowess points that you have are not real. So stop being upset that people are like impeding your progress to like change the color of your rank, right? If you can refocus on stuff that's real, like am I making smarter, safer decisions in neutral? When I get a hit, am I getting full damage? Am I able to still get my full combo in a clutch situation like in bracket? Are my nerves that good? Can I recognize like a sidewall situation and capitalize off of that? Am I good at reading my opponent's tendencies and being able to defend myself against them? Am I recognizing that this string is coming up and I'm sidestepping out of mix-ups more often? Do I understand my character's matchups? Do I know what I'm supposed to be doing at any given point in a game? These are skills that are real. You can develop these whether or not people are leaving your matches or not. It doesn't matter what anybody else on the face of the planet is doing. These are things you can work on independently with anyone that will play with you. And to expand upon this, it's important to be setting goals for yourself that you have control over, right? And when I say control, I mean like direct control, not like abstract control over. Because like we could set a goal like I want to hit Fujin rank, and that's like an abstract goal, but achieving that is the consequence of much other smaller goals that we actually have control over. So like what do those look like? A real goal is like I'm going to sit down for 2 hours a day and just play ranked matches, and anytime I lose, I'm going to review the replay. That is a goal that you have full control over. You decide whether you show up for 2 hours a day. You control whether you're reviewing the replays or not, right? That's real. Or like each morning for 30 minutes, I'm going to do punishment training against a new character. So like this morning for 30 minutes, I'm just gonna practice punishing Brian stuff. And then tomorrow I'm gonna practice punishing Claudio stuff, right? Notice that we're not saying like master or learn how to punish, right? We're just saying we're going to practice, right? That's what's important. You don't have control necessarily over whether you master something or whether you progress through the ranks. What you control is the effort that you put in. If you're able to shift your mind away from these distractions like Tekken prowess or like your individual rank, or away from like the ill intent of others that you are perceiving of them, or into like this character's bullshit, like getting sucked down this vortex of your emotions, and you just set like really directly achievable goals that influence real skills, then I mean, the world is your oyster. Like, this isn't even a conversation that just pertains to Tekken. This is a conversation that pertains to like any skill that you want to develop anywhere in your life. But don't deny yourself of your emotions. You have them for a reason. Your body is trying to communicate something to your brain. Or maybe it's vice versa. I don't really know how fucking emotions work. But regardless, you want to take the information in, understand it, and then use it. Like, use it to direct your focus towards something that is going to improve your life and your understanding. And I promise the more that you do this, the more that these situations that look like bullshit at first glance, you'll start to really appreciate them. Like, if you tune into the stream like all the time, I'll like get hit by something, and rather than being like, fuck, that's bullshit, like I'll just be like, damn, that was a really good play. And that's a good place to be. When you are no longer frustrated at other people for being better than you, and you're just able to be like, damn, that was really good. I wonder what I can learn from that. Now we're all working together, right? If you want another video where I talk about the mental side of Tekken, I recommend watching the video on screen now. Thanks for watching, everybody.